Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to revise the topics from chapter number 9 Optics. As we studied about optics it is a branch of physics which deals with the light, and light express itself in terms of quantum particles which express or which travels through a path which known as the wave. That is, we can say it is a form of energy that propagates in the presence or absence of medium, which we called as a wave. And in simple word, light consists of energy carriers, photons, guided by the rules of electromagnetic waves. Then reflection from a plane surface. Here, normal example, if the object is in front of plane reflecting surface, the image is virtual and laterally inverted. For example, mirror. When you are standing in front of mirror, it will give you an image which is virtual and laterally inverted. If we are standing on the bank of a still water body and look for our image formed by water, the image is laterally reversed of the same size and on the other side. Then, if an object is kept between two plane mirrors inclined at an angle theta, a number of images are formed due to multiple reflections from both the mirrors, and exact number of images depends on the angle between the mirrors and where exactly the object is kept. Here there are some examples. When there are two mirrors and object is present at some angle, it will form some images, and there will be only some images which can be seen. So we have formula to find the form images, that is 360 degree upon n equal to 360 degree upon theta, and this theta is the angle by which object is inclined to the mirrors. Now another from this one, there are some cases for finding the seen images from which there will be questions. And here form images will depend on this theta, and seen images will depend on this formed images, as there are three cases from here. One, when that n is even integer, then form images n is equal to n minus 1. Then when this n is odd integer, then it will give two cases, that is when that object is on bisector and off the bisector. So on bisector it will give seen images n equal to n minus 1. Of the bisector it will be n equal to n. And third case, where this n is not an integer, if there is integral part, that is n is equal to m, where m is the integral part from that number. So these are some cases for this reflection from which there will be question in exam. Now refraction. So when there will be light wave, the properties of light wave, that properties will be speed, wavelength, direction of propagation, etc., depend upon the medium through which it is traveling. If a ray of light comes to an interface between two media and enters into another medium of different refractive index, it changes itself suitable to that medium. This phenomenon is known as refraction of light. For example, when there will be two medium, for if there is water, light is incident on the water surface, it will give the deviation in that incident ray. That refracted ray will slightly move towards the normal. So this is angle of incidence, angle of refraction. So here, about refraction of light, whatever the properties of light in the rarer medium, suppose air, will get change in the denser medium as it will enters in it. Now here we have formula for the refractive indices, that is refractive index of medium 2 with respect to 1 can be written as n2 upon n1. So where n2 is the refractive index of medium 2, that is, suppose this is 1, this is 2, then, and in this case ray or light is moving from rarer to denser, and at the same time there will be change in its velocity. So this ratio will be v1 upon v2 also. Next, when we consider water, in water this refractive index will be according to real depth and apparent depth. For example, simple, when you will take any glass which is halfly filled with the water, and if you are putting spoon inside it, then this will look like a brick. That spoon, when you will observe from this one side, you can observe it, that spoon is looking like a brick at this one point, that is at surface. So there will be real depth and apparent depth. That apparent depth which you are observing from the another side or from the rarer medium, and actual depth of the spoon or real depth, it will be different. So from that we can find out the refractive index of water. So remember this formula, refractive index of water is equal to real depth upon apparent depth. So this is about refraction of light. Then total internal reflection. Simple total internal reflection, when there will be optically denser medium, that optically denser medium will give reflection of light and refraction of light. That is, at the, suppose at this one point there is source of light which is emitting the light towards the surface. At this one point it will refract outside and partially it will reflect. Then again, as it will goes on refracting in rarer medium or in another medium, that refraction angle will get increases. Why? Because it is refracting from denser medium to rarer medium. So keep in mind, when that refraction will be from denser to rarer, its angle of refraction will move away from the normal. So at one point what happens, this angle of refraction will come across the 90 degree, and that angle of refraction, when it becomes 90 degree, it is known as critical angle. And further, that ray, when incident on the surface of that denser medium, it will reflect only, it will not refract. What I said, there will be one situation at which angle of refraction becomes 90 degree, and it will, after that, that ray will not refract, it will reflect inside the denser medium, and that condition is known as total internal reflection. So you have to remember this critical angle at which there is no refraction, there is only reflection inside the denser medium. Now from this in total internal reflection, we have to study about application of total internal reflection. In that, optical fiber. This optical fiber having structure like this one, at center it is giving core, that is which is flexible transparent core and optically denser than cladding. Cladding, it is outer coat to that core which is flexible, and after cladding there is another coating, that is buffer and jacket construction. So this total thickness of it is on near about 1 mm. And where we use this? For telecommunication. Actually for optical fiber there are a lot of applications, as it is giving total internal reflection, so it will not give data loss, or it will give maximum applications to transfer the data. It gives broad bandwidth, then it is electrically non-conductive and not able to pick up nearby electromagnetic signals that are not in use. Then low attenuation loss, electrical insulator, then theft prevention, that is it is not using any copper or other expensive materials, so it is theft prevention. Then security of information, as I said, internal damage is not possible, so there will not be any loss in information. So these are some applications of the optical fiber, as it is giving total internal reflection. Moving further, now turn towards the refraction at a single spherical surface. Refraction at a single spherical surface will give relation between their refractive indices. That is, when there will be single spherical surface, it will give a refraction of light, and there will be two medium 1 and medium 2. So from that, object distance, this will be object distance u, and this will be image distance v. So from this all figure, we are getting this formula for refractive indices of two medium, that is n2, which is refractive index of denser medium, that is along this single spherical surface. Then n1 is the refractive index of rarer medium. R is the radius of curvature of that single or single spherical surface. Again n2 is refractive index of denser medium. V is the distance of image, formed image due to single spherical surface, and u is the initial distance of object kept at distance from the spherical surface. So this formula we are getting due to this single spherical surface. Then from this we have to study about Lensmaker's equation. Here Lensmaker's equation, 1 upon f is equal to n minus 1 into 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Here this is giving focal length in terms of refractive index and radius of curvature. This radius of curvature will be of convex lens, which will give two thin spherical surfaces. So there will be r1 and r2. From this there will be image which we get into different two places, I1 and I1 dash. If you have studied from the textbook also or from video, so you will get aware about this one. And n is the refractive index of the denser medium. R1 and R2 are the radius of curvature. So this is Lensmaker's formula, which we use to preparing spectacles. So for preparing spectacles, it is necessary to grind the glass, and for having the desired radii of curvature. So from this formula we can calculate the radii of curvature for the lens, and so this formula is known as the Lensmaker's equation. Then further, dispersion of light and prism. As we know, the color of light that we see depends upon the frequency of that ray. So the refractive index of a material also depends upon the frequency of the wave and increases with frequency. So refractive index of light is different for different colors. So as a result of this, incident ray, that is obliquely from this diagram you will get aware, when this incident ray is obliquely incident on the surface, then refraction are different for each color, and they separate or disperse as they travel along different directions, and this is known as angular dispersion. This angular dispersion, from this diagram you will get aware about this one. In red light, violet light, 7 colors will be in their different directions, and that is known as angular dispersion. Then in another case, if we consider any polychromatic beam of light, then that time in second diagram, when there will be polychromatic beam, that means there will be bundle of rays of different colors. So that time when it is passing through the slab, that all colors will get separate out and they will run parallel to each other after refracting it. So that is known as lateral dispersion. First one which we are observing, that is angular dispersion, where one single white light is incident on it and it is dispersing in different colors in different direction. In second diagram, when we are using number of or bundle of colors in diagram, then they will parallel to each other, they will separate out after refraction and they will parallel to each other. That is known as lateral dispersion. So keep in mind. Next, relations between the angles involved. Now when there will be prism, in prism there is one angle, that is prism angle, which is A equal to 60 degree. Then there will be, first it will incident at that point, it will get deviate and again it will refract. So there will be angle of deviation delta, angle of deviation, and there will be two different angle of refractions. At the same time we have to consider angle of incident and angle of emergent. So this prism will give relation between angle of incident I, then angle of emergent, and angle of prism with this angle of deviation. So everyone got this? What is angle of incident? When light will incident on the surface of prism, that is angle of incidence, then it will get deviate by some angle towards the normal, and that deviation angle due to emergent ray will be here, this will be deviation, so that is delta. From this all angles, emergent angle means when ray will comes out from the prism, that will be angle of emergent. So this angle of incidence plus angle of emergence is equal to angle of prism plus angle of deviation delta. So this is the relation between angles. Then from this we have deviation curve. Deviation curve shows with increasing value of I, the angle of deviation delta decreases initially. It is decreasing initially and again it is going to increase. So at minimum deviation, that is delta m, it shows minimum deviation, and after that it is increasing. But it is not giving symmetric parabola, because at two another points it is giving angle of incident, that is except delta equal to delta m, that is minimum deviation, there are two values of I for any given delta. So by applying principle of reversibility of light to path of this deviation, it will give this relation for the refractive index by using Snell's law. That is, here I for minimum deviation becomes A plus delta m upon 2, and this given formula n, that is refractive index of prism, is equal to sine A plus delta m upon 2 upon sine A by 2, where A is the angle of prism, delta m is the minimum deviation, and from these two terms we can find out the refractive index of the prism, and this is known as prism formula also. Then come across thin prisms. Prisms which are having refracting angle less than 10 degree, that is A less than 10 degree, are called as thin prisms. Normal prism having angle of prism A equal to 60 degree, but for thin prism it becomes 10 degree. For such prisms we can comfortably use sin theta equals to theta. For such prisms to deviate the incident ray towards the base during both refractions, it is essential that angle of incidence I should also be less than 10 degree, so that all the other angles will also be small. Okay, this is the condition for that thin prism, where delta is equal to A into n minus 1, where A is angle of prism and n is refractive index, both are constant. So a thin prism, for small angles of incidence, angle of deviation is constant. Then next, angular dispersion and mean deviation. Here polychromatic beam of light is incident upon a prism. The emergent beam consists of all the individual colors angularly separated, so that is angular dispersion. Okay, so when it is obliquely incident on the surface of prism, they will give angular dispersion into different colors, violet, red, according to their angle of deviation. So from this we can calculate the angle of deviation between first and last color, that is violet and red color, that is by putting its mean value, that is delta V plus delta R, that is angle of deviation for violet color, and that is delta V, and angle of deviation for red color, delta R. From this mean we can find out the deviation between two colors, and in short we can write it as in the form of angle of prism delta y equal to a into ny minus 1. So y is yellow color, which is the mean color from the both side or center color, and which is equal to a into ny minus 1. As we know, for different colors its refractive index also different. So ny is the refractive index of yellow color, y is the yellow color which is at center of that 7 colors. Then dispersive power. Dispersive power, it is ability of an optical material to disperse constituent colors, is its dispersive power, and that dispersive power can be given by, from this formula, omega is equal to delta V minus delta R upon delta V plus delta R upon 2, which is approximately equal to delta V minus delta R upon delta Y. So again I am telling this, delta V is angle of deviation for violet color, angle of deviation for red color, and angle of deviation for yellow color. From this again there will be refractive index for violet color, refractive index of red color, refractive index of yellow color. From that we can turn this dispersive power formula in terms of refractive index Nv minus Nr upon Ny minus 1. So this is about the dispersive power. Turn towards the optical instruments. Magnifying power, that is angular magnification or magnifying power of an optical instrument, is defined as the ratio of the visual angle made by the image formed by that optical instrument to the visual angle subtended by the object when kept at the least distance of distinct vision alpha. So from this magnifying power, m is equal to visual angle of the image beta upon visual angle of the object when at d alpha. So beta by alpha will give the magnifying power for that particular optical instrument. So for small angles of this alpha and beta, we can write this magnifying power is equal to d upon u. So what is optical instrument? When there will be small element or small object, to observe that object we use the instrument. When there will be small distance between two objects, to separate out we use the magnifying power of that particular instrument. So from this there are simple microscopes, then traveling microscopes, compound microscopes, all are the instruments which give its magnifying power and which will give the bigger image of the small object. So from this another one optical instrument that which we have to study, it is compound microscope. As we know, to observe the small object we need lens, so that lens will give its own magnifying power. In case of compound microscope, it uses two convex lenses of suitable focal length and fit into a cylindrical tube with some adjustment possible for its length. So it will give smaller lens facing the object, which is called as objective, and other lens with which the observer jams her or his eye is little larger and called as the eye lens. Then that is which, if you have observed in lab, you will get aware about this one. It uses two lenses, convex lenses. And remember, when we need focal length to be smaller and smaller, the corresponding lens becomes thicker and thicker. And for such lens, both spherical as well as chromatic aberrations are dominant. So if higher magnifying power is needed, we go for using more than one lenses. So in this compound microscope, we get same output, that D upon UE is equal to ME, where ME is angular magnification, and again it gives the distance between two lenses, that is length of the compound microscope. L becomes V0 plus UE. So this is about the compound microscope and optical instruments. So optics for this year, whatever topics were there, I have completed in one session. Just go through it, practice for it, so your revision is finished here. Thank you.